I'm off this evening. We are incredibly pleased today to open up our conversation with Congressman Steve Horsford. Congressman Steve Horsford represents Nevada's 4th District in Congress. He serves as the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. I think I've heard of that somewhere. He's the co-chair of the Labor Caucus and the vice chair of the Equal Rights Amendment Caucus. He's a dedicated advocate for Nevada's working families. I've got North Carolina on my mind. He fights for responsible gun control and background checks. Unfortunately, he lost his father at age 19. That made him what Henry Nouwen calls a wounded healer, as he's been working to help those who've experienced gun violence. He works to end the school to prison pipeline and provide the safety net for children and families that need that in order to succeed. He's worked to strengthen children, families, and communities because these are the priorities for so many people from the great state of Nevada. Congressman Horsford, I give the floor to you.
Well, thank you so much, Reverend Sadler. Thank you for having me. To Carol, thank you for the invitation to be with all of you. And look, I understand this is a fundraising gala to support the Center for Common Ground. And I just wanted to get on and first say hello from the great state of Nevada. We had a phenomenal rally yesterday with Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz. We had more than 12,000 people in the arena and thousands more who couldn't even get in because it was packed. We call it the Thomas and Mack. So the Mack was packed, but we had 108-degree heat outside, but it was on fire inside. The enthusiasm, the excitement, really the energy. I've started to say that this is feels more like a movement than an election happening right now here in the state of Nevada. So I am Congressman Stephen Horsford. I'm proud to represent Nevada's 4th Congressional District. I'm one of the 30 of the most competitive districts in the House here in Nevada. I've been on the front line of this district now. This is where I was born and raised. But this is now my 3rd cycle as a frontline member. My district covers half the state, 50,000 square miles, includes Las Vegas and North Las Vegas, where I'm from, but it also includes central rural Nevada, Tonopah, Pahrump, Hawthorne, Pioche. I've got 5 tribal nations. So it's a very diverse district, demographically and geographically. The great thing is that we fight and work on behalf of everybody from every corner of the district. But we also have to work hard to make sure that every single person understands the work that we're doing to uplift our communities, to bring down the cost of housing, to take on corporate landlords who are driving up the cost of rent. 1 in 3 homes in my district are owned by out-of-state corporate hedge funds out of Wall Street who are buying up in cash these homes, pricing out veterans, pricing out seniors, pricing out first-time home buyers. And it's one of the reasons that I have introduced legislation called the Home Act, and I'm now working with Vice President Harris and the Biden-Harris administration on these issues. But we're also taking on Big Pharma. And I'm proud that because of our work, we have been able to cap the cost of insulin at $35, cap out-of-pocket costs for seniors at $2,000, and to really help make sure that all families have access to the life-saving medication that they need. But we also know that there's a lot more work that we have to do, and that's why I am running to make sure that we not only elect Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket here in Nevada, but that we protect seats like mine so that we can win back the majority in the House, that we make Hakeem Jeffries the next Speaker of the House of Representatives, which will be history making in its own right, that we protect the Senate and the majority in the Senate. We have a competitive Senate race here with Senator Jackie Rosen. And those are all the things that are necessary in order to protect to preserve and to strengthen our democracy. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work that you're doing, because democracy is a team sport. That means that every one of us can do something to help protect our democracy, to strengthen it, and to make sure that every single person knows that their voice matters at the ballot box. So writing these postcards, making these calls, doing the canvas launches, these are the things that make the difference. And we know we've got 86 days to make history, and we're going to do just that. But we cannot do it without you, without all of your help, without all of your support. So again, I just want to say thank you for having my back. Carol and others have helped work with me on important legislation. I'm the primary sponsor of the Break the Cycle of Violence Act. It's a bill that I authored in the memory of my father that I lost to gun violence when I was 19 years old. But it also gave me my purpose to help save lives, to stop crime before it happens, and to ultimately break the cycle of violence by investing in community violence intervention, by helping to equip young people in particular with the skills, the training, the education they need, because I believe that the best thing that replaces a bullet is an opportunity, whether that's a job, whether that's education, or whether that's starting a business. We all need an opportunity. I'll just close by sharing, as chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, I have the honor of leading the largest CBC in our history, 60 members. And while we just laid to rest our dear friend and colleague, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, and unfortunately, we've experienced other losses this year, including my classmate, Representative Donald Payne Jr., we are still uplifting their legacy and their work. So the CBC collectively represents 120 million Americans. That's 1/3 of the US population, 20 million Black Americans. What that means is that we represent every geographic section of the United States. We have the youngest member of Congress in Maxwell Frost. We have the dean of our caucus in Eleanor Holmes Norton, and she lets me shout that out because she's earned it, and everyone in between. We also have every ideological perspective. But you know what brings us together in unity? The people. So when we're in session every Wednesday, we come together for lunch to talk about the issues that are important to the communities that we serve. And that includes making sure that we pass the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, the Freedom to Vote Act, that we continue to uplift the work of the Civil Rights Act, which we just commemorated with the 60th anniversary. And we advance the opportunities through work, wages, and wealth, which I'm proud to be leading as the chair of the CBC, to make sure that economic opportunities reach every sector and every community. Here in the United States today, the average white family has a net worth of about $284,000, while the average Black family has a net worth of about $44,000. We know that this is because of systemic racism, discrimination, dating back from the founding of our nation, from slavery to Jim Crow to the mass incarceration of Black people today. But the good news is that we can do something about it. We can do something about it by electing Kamala Harris as our president, along with Tim Walz as her running mate. We can win back this majority in the House, and we can make sure that we are ready on day one with our wealth agenda and economic opportunity that works to close this racial wealth gap while we're providing opportunities, economic opportunities for all communities. So that is something that I'm very serious about. But again, we can't do any of this without all of you. So thank you for your support. Please keep sending those postcards, keep making those calls. Please keep sending those donations. Every bit does help us get to our goal. We need your support here in Nevada and in other battleground states all across the country. So let's keep doing the work, because when we vote, we win. And I am so excited about winning on November 5th, not just so that we can win this election, but so that we can continue to win for the American people. So thank you again for allowing me to join all of you and keep up the great work and everything that you do with the Center for Common Ground. I'm really proud to be on with all of you this evening.